Hola clase, hoy vamos a aprender cómo conjugar los verbos regulares en el subjuntivo. So today we are going to learn how to conjugate our regular AR verbs in the subjunctive tense. There is a worksheet that goes along with this video in Google Classroom, so please make sure you are filling it out as we go over it. Feel free to pause the video at any time if you need. So first, to talk about the subjunctive. What is it? So the subjunctive isn't a tense. It's actually a mood. This means that the subjunctive reflects how the speaker feels about the action. So the subjunctive can be used to indicate doubt, feelings, or dreams. So again, it's not actually a verb tense, it is more of a mood. So now let's look at how the subjunctive is formed. If you notice, it's going to be very similar to our commands that we just learned. So what you are going to do is first start at the yo form of the verb. So for example, we have our verb ayudar. In the yo form in the present tense, it's ayudo. So we're then going to drop the o, so now we are left with ayud, and we are going to add the opposite ending. So since this is an AR verb, we are going to add an ER ending. So the yo form is yo ayude. The tu form is tú ayudes. Él, ella, usted is ayude. Nosotros ayudemos. And ellos, ellas, ustedes ayuden. So all of those make sense. The only one that's a little bit different is the yo form. So notice it is not an O, it is going to be an E. So now on your worksheet, what I want you guys to do is to pause the video. You guys can see it says practiquemos. So what I want you to do is to write each verb in the form shown in the subjunctive. So go ahead, pause the video, then we will go over them. All right, let's go over our subjunctive practice. So number 1, it will be yo canté with an E on the end. Tú patines, ES. Number 3, él estudie with an E. Number 4, montar will be montemos, EMOS. Number 5 will be cocinen. Number 6 is yo nade. Number 7 is escuches, ES. Number 8 is hable. Number 9 would be visitemos. 10 is pasen. 11 is mire. 12, viajes. 13, entre. 14, cortemos. 15 is bailen. And 16 is prepare with an E on the end. So those are your answers to the practiquemos section. So now we are going to continue on with our notes. So the requirements in order for it to be the subjunctive. So as I told you before, it's a mood. So we have 3 important requirements that you need to meet in order to be the subjunctive. So we have a weirdo verb, which I'm going to tell you what weirdo means in a second. We have 2 different subjects in the sentence, and we also have the word K. So remember, all of the 3 are required in order for it to be in the subjunctive. So going back to weirdo. Weirdo is an acronym to help you guys. So, looking at weirdo, the W is going to stand for wish or will. The E is going to stand for emotions. I stands for impersonal expressions. R stands for requests or recommendations. D stands for doubt and denial. And O stands for ojalá, which means I hope in English. So now we are going to start off with the W. We are going to look at some wish and will verbs. So you guys have this in your notes. What I want you guys to do is to copy down the Spanish. So we're going to start with desear, means to desire. Esperar means to hope. Insistir en is to insist on. Necesitar necesitar means to need. Permitir is to permit. Preferir, which is an E to IE stem changing verb, means to prefer. Prohibir means to prohibit. And querer, which is an E to IE verb, means to want. Just so you know, we will go over stem changing verbs later on, but they do receive a stem change in the subjunctive as well. So now we're going to look at some example sentences that require the subjunctive. So, the first one we have, it says, my parents want me to work. Okay? Or my parents want that I work. Mis padres quieren que yo trabaje. So looking at it, you can see we have two different subjects. So we have my parents and we have yo. We have a verb, querer, which is to wish or to want. So you can see it's wanting someone to do something. So it falls under the W category. And then trabaje is conjugated in the subjunctive. So again, my parents want that I work, or my parents want me to work is how we would say it in English. Now looking at a normal sentence in the present tense, you can see it says my parents work. We have one subject, one verb, there's no K in there, so that's just going to be the present tense. Another example is going to be, I hope you study for the test. Okay, so looking at it, it's yo espero que tú estudies para el examen. Again, we have two different subjects, so our subject is yo and our subject is tú. We have our verb esperar, which means to want, all right, or to hope. So again, looking at that, you can see that that's going to follow underneath your W. Then we have your verb estudiar conjugated in the subjunctive, so that is going to be estudies. Versus the present tense example, you need to study for the test. Okay, one subject, it's you, and it's telling you that you need to do something. All right, so now what I want you guys to do, there are some sentences down at the bottom that I want you guys to translate to Spanish. So go ahead, pause the video at this time. Remember, the second verb in the sentence is going to be in the subjunctive. So the first verb is always the present tense. The second verb is always going to be in the subjunctive. So we'll do number one together, actually. So looking at it, it says, I hope that you travel. Okay, we know that I is yo. Hope was our verb esperar. So yo espero. So notice that is in the present tense. That is going to be our word que. So far we have yo espero que. Now we are going to say that you travel. So you is going to be our subject pronoun to. And then our verb to travel is viajar. So we are going to conjugate in the subjunctive, so that would be opposite ending. So since it's an AR verb in the to form, we would add ES. So what we should have for that one is yo espero que tú viajes. Now you guys can pause the video and try questions 2 through 5. All right, now that you are back and you have tried the practiquemos números 2 a 5, vamos a repasarlos. So, número 2, you insist that I dance. So that would be tú insistes en que yo baile. Número 3, Ramón needs us to cook. So Ramón necesita que nosotros cocinemos. Número 4, we prefer that they swim. Nosotros preferimos que ellos naden. Número 5, they desire that Juana listen. So ellos desean que Juana escuche. So that is the subjunctive for regular AR verbs. We are going to practice all day today. Then we are going to get into our ER and IR verbs, and then we are going to practice those all together.